All right, welcome to the West Tennessee Box Score. As we're getting into baseball and softball season today, we got Coach Sowell from Scotts Hill softball with us this morning. And look, before we get started, it's one of those things like I was standing beside you. How tall are you? 6'2", 6'3"?
About 6'3", yeah.
Yeah, so like I'm going to tell you a story. Years ago, on spring break, go down to Florida with one of my buddies playing basketball at Bethel. Almost 30 years ago now. We're down at, he lived in Tampa, so we're staying with him. We get over to St. Petersburg. Didn't realize that spring training was going on.
Right.
So we're in this establishment. And one of our guys that's with us recognizes this guy. It's John Burkett, the pitcher. So we start talking to him. And we ended up hanging out with Burkett, but he's looking at us. He thought we were baseball players. We told him, we're basketball players. He's like, aren't y'all a little small? Because we were all about 6 foot. And he's like, I thought basketball players were supposed to be tall. And when you come in, I was like, Coach Sal's bigger than me too. Everybody's bigger than me. But let's get into softball a little bit this year. We'll start out. Just tell me a little bit about your road to get to Scotts Hill. How long you've been there, a little of your history, and then kind of maybe we'll talk about your team this year.
Good deal. So started out, been in education for about 17 years. Been coaching since I stopped playing college football, and so I've been coaching for about 20 years now, and just got blessed to receive a job offer in Henderson County. Actually at Lexington Middle School for a couple years, and then moved over to the Henderson County school system, and I've been very blessed with all the opportunities that we've gotten. Started coaching football there, and met Coach Burke at Lexington. That was the head softball coach there at the time, and him and I were doing middle school football. I was doing high school football and middle school football, and staying busy.
Right.
And of course, at the time, single, not married, had all the time in the world. So, he was like, hey, I need a guy, help me with softball. I was like, well, I played high school baseball, don't know much about softball, but, sounds fun.
Yeah.
So, and if you got a good relationship with somebody, it makes it that much, that much better and that much fun, much more fun there. But anyway, so start coaching with him, and of course they're coming off some really good seasons, some state tournament runs, and trying to think, that was probably 2010 or 11, I guess, when I started with him at Lexington, and we ended up winning the state championship in 2013. The girls that watch this from Lexington will agree with me. We should have won another one in 2014. Got put out by Dyersburg at the state tournament. On an unfortunate game, we just didn't play well that game, but we had already beat Dyersburg, I believe, twice that year.
Right.
And anyway, we got put out by Dyersburg at the state tournament, but very well could have won 2 in a row. But we come back, and that summer I got offered the job at Scotts Hill, summer of 2014. It was a hard decision to make, of course. When you spend that much time with a program and school and things, it's hard to change. But, in the coaching world, there's a lot of change.
Right.
Unfortunately. Yeah. So anyway, I got the opportunity. Mr. Wilson called me, and our superintendent, and I took that job in summer of 2014. Prayed about it, and just felt like it was time to move, and to move on to maybe a head coaching job for me. And so I ended up doing football and softball at Scotts Hill. Been there since summer of 2014. Moving forward, so we're in 2026 now. We've survived COVID.
Oh gosh.
We played 2 games that year in 2020. We were actually at the Sarah Beth Whitehead tournament, and we had played, I think, 1 game or 2 games that year, and that's when they come in and said, hey, we're done, everybody go home. And that was the worst feeling. I had a special group of, every group of seniors are special, but I had a special group of seniors that year Actually, Chloe Austin, one of my assistant coaches, was a senior that year. I'll never forget it. We were all crying. I was crying. They were crying. We were all tore up. I mean, we've spent the last 3 or 4 months working out, started practice in early February. And then just for somebody to come mid-March and say, hey, your season's done, your high school career's over, and then not to mention, but the next few years, it really affected girls being recruited. It affected all athletes, but especially it affected those spring sports being recruited to play college ball because everybody was getting those COVID years and they weren't counting them. So no one was graduating out and having to bring new in.
That was a hot. I remember all that being a hot mess.
Yes. Yeah.
Of course, just Scotts Hill. That group of seniors was one of my first group of middle school kids. So like Tyler Cruz on the baseball team, some of those guys. That was their senior year. Ty Martin, Brady, all those guys. Got just robbed of their senior year.
Yes, yeah, and they had an outstanding baseball team. I mean, outstanding baseball team, softball team. It was going to be a special year for sure.
That year, oh gosh, and in basketball, of course, Willie Trevathan, Coach Haskins, two of my best friends were both won their first round state tournament games and got sent home in the second round. Never got to finish that. So that was a crazy.
I didn't realize that. I didn't realize basketball got sent home.
They got some boys didn't even get to start. Girls played the first round on Wednesday. They both played and won.
I did not realize that.
They were 2 games away. Wow. And that was kind of crazy. So
wow, that's terrible.
No, we were talking before we got on camera. State tournament run in was 2023.
It was so 2017 we went for the first time in school history, and then we went back in 2018, and then we the last time we went was 2023. So and our record's not as good as what I want it to be at the state tournament, but you get up there and it's the best of the best. I mean, like literally you have the top 8 teams out of the state in your classification, and you're having to compete, and the pressure, that's something that you can't hardly coach, the girls just have to be put in situations throughout the year. That's why we go to Florence tournament, which is in Alabama, to see see people we don't know. We go to Gulf Shores in spring break to see people we don't know. We try to venture out, so we kind of I try to have them get out of their comfort zone in the season, so when we do get to that state tournament, that we are comfortable with being out of our comfort zone. If that makes sense. So. And then
also, you get down into Alabama and Florida, you're going to run into some top tier talent.
Well, a lot of people don't know that Alabama and I can't remember if it's Mississippi, but Alabama for sure, they start a month before we do in Tennessee. Basically like colleges. Colleges start playing end of January, 1st of February. Well, Alabama high schools play early like that also. And so when we play teams in Florence, and then about 5 years ago was the last time we went to Gulf Shores for spring break and played in a tournament there, those teams had already been playing their season was coming to a close. They were within a week or so of actually starting their district tournaments, their region tournaments and things like that. Florence, Alabama, where we play, is actually where they hold the region tournaments and I think the state tournaments for Florence right there for Alabama. But with that being said, those teams, so I'll say this for a second. I'll talk about this for a minute if you don't care. There was a team, this is crazy. There was a team that we played 5 years ago in Gulf Shores. I think they have 5 or 6 classifications in softball in Alabama. So this team comes in and we're playing them, and we're sitting here with 400 and something kids, and like this school's got like close to 2,000, and of course we do our research before we play. We do our research. We look things up. We research. Believe it or not, We do research. Okay. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Sometimes it looks like we don't, but we do. I promise you. But anyway, we research these teams and see how they're doing through the year and different things. Well, anyway, making a long story short, this team, they had 20 players on the team on the roster, and they had 12 college signees.
Oh, wow.
Now, if you don't know softball, only 9 play.
Yeah.
Only 9 play. And I think 5 or 6 out of the 12 college signees were Division I. And now I'm not knocking that. I'm an NAIA guy. So is he. So is Coach. But 5 or 6 Division I players out of 12 college signees and only 9 starting.
Yeah, that's a.
And I'm sitting there like, can you send the 3 that's sitting on the bench over? You know what I'm saying?
Let us borrow.
Let's take them back to Tennessee and keep rolling. But anyway, that was kind of a joke. Of course, I did not tell my team any of this until after the game. So you don't ever want to bring that kind of information prior to playing.
Right. Well, that was a Germantown boys a few years ago in basketball. It was the same situation.
Mm-hmm.
Their 6-man signed to play college basketball.
Exactly.
They're starting 5, and the 6 had one on the bench, all playing at the next level. And you're like,
so speaking of basketball, prior to coming to Henderson County, I was at Liberty Tech. So I was at Liberty for 4 years coaching football. And so that was during the Coach Dexter Williams era.
Okay.
And while I was there, and we won 2 state championships back-to-back in AA boys basketball. And they were really good. They were really fun to watch. He had so much talent on that team. Very well coached. Dexter's a good friend of mine. And then, of course, Coach Hookfin at Liberty. We ended up going the last year I was at Liberty. We went to the 4th round of the playoffs and got beat by Giles County. Giles County, if a young man's name rings a bell, Bo Wallace.
Oh, yeah.
So Bo Wallace ended up going and playing at Ole Miss. All right. Well, Bo had an outstanding game, and they went on to win the state championship, I do believe. And but anyway, that was the last year I coached at Liberty, and we went to 4th round. And then the first year I was at Lexington, the year after that, the next year, went to 4th round with Lexington High School and got beat by Memphis Tresvant in the 4th round. And then, of course, I hate to say it, a couple years later, all that stuff come out about the ACT scores and things like that. I hate it for the kids and stuff.
Who was coaching at Tresvant there?
I can't remember.
That wasn't T. White, was it?
I cannot remember.
Oh,
But anyway,
I remember when all that came out. I was just trying to remember.
Yeah. So I've been around a lot of good basketball teams too, especially at Liberty and things like that. But
well, this year, going into this again, we were kind of talking again beforehand. This is all new to me, trying to cover softball and baseball, especially. And I'm learning kind of where we can find our niche to help people out. When we started this, I've shared this story several times. It was after watching my kids come through. It really felt like there was just a lack of coverage of local athletes. So that's really what our goal is. But I'm finding basketball was real easy for me. Mm-hmm. I knew everybody. I knew what was missing. Softball and baseball, different things are available. Some things are missing. I was talking about Game Changer. I didn't know anything about Game Changer.
Right.
Which a lot of people use it. Has a lot of information.
Yes.
But
very helpful.
We're hoping to do stories. But at the start, for me, was just trying to meet as many coaches as I could. So I did a little preseason poll. Called as many people as I could. Put together a little poll. It's up on our website. Scottsdale in the district right now on our poll. I actually put y'all second because I get accused of being a homer. Y'all were tied for first in the coaches' votes.
Okay.
I had a tie between y'all and Adamsville coming through the talking to the coaches. I wrote y'all down number 2, Coach, because I get a beat up for being a homer, which I am, but for the most part. But coming into it, so almost everybody either had y'all or Adamsville at 1.
Right.
Coming into the district, the region this year, how's things shaping up? How do you feel about your team? If you got any, I know I got some names too, some key players. A couple of your kids came up from other coaches as well. I know Katie Harper and Lacey Manus' names both came up a bunch. I know you got more kids than that, but those 2 names came up a lot from other coaches. So just talk to us a little bit about this year's team. kind of the expectations and.
So it's our enrollment's down huge. We have 2 or 3 years ago when they did the last enrollment number, we were at 525. Well, right now to date we're at 380.
Oh wow!
So we're down over 30%, which in another year, according to Tilsley, if you drop 20%, 20 or 25%, I think it's 20%. Enrollment that you will move classifications in the middle of that 4-year thing. So, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how long we'll stay in 2A. Now we're all praying that we get more students back in the school, because obviously a smaller pool, hurts a smaller school. We weren't able to play this week due to basketball still going on. And that's okay. Just like USJ right now, USJ's they may be playing today for a state championship.
Yeah, they played yesterday in the semi, so I don't know if today's the championship or
maybe next week. I don't know.
No, I bet it's today. It'll be today, Saturday.
Well,
today.
You take them for instance. Tilsley has moved up the season a week for our games to start, but like USJ has missed the whole first week. I mean, their basketball coach is also the head softball coach,
right.
Joe Ayers. And so, that moving that up a week, it's tough. But being from back to the small school thing, having to share athletes, I'm used to it by now, obviously, because I've been there for 12 years. But like those girls that just got out of basketball coming to softball, they're wore out.
Right.
And so I tried to take it easy on them this week, kind of bring them in a little slow. But unfortunately, we're playing the catch-up game. I mean, because they haven't been with us, for the last couple months. I mean, we started in January working out, and then of course we start, practice when, February. But so, it's the catch-up game right now. But anyway, back to the district and region stuff. We, Adamsville and us, everybody, probably knows. I'm not taking anything away from Madison or Liberty, but just historically. Now that Riverside is out of our district, they're going across the river now. Adamsville and us, I mean, it's going to be if you get a chance to catch a game, those are the games you want to come to. When we play Adamsville at home, when we play Adamsville away,
right?
We beat them for I think we split with them last year, 1-1 regular season, and. They've got a great staff there. They've got great players. They've got a pitcher that is phenomenal. I mean, she's really good, and she moves the ball a lot, does really well. But if you get a chance to watch a game, that'd be a game to come watch. Last year, we ended up winning in a barn burner the district championship. And it had been a few years since we won a district championship. I think Riverside actually had won it 4 years in a row.
Right.
And then we won it last year. And so it had been a while since we won a district championship. So anyway, last year we did that, and of course we got put out by Milan in the region semifinal. We lost 1-0. But anyway, yes, Adamsville and us. It will come down to 1-2. That's what I believe. And
your region this year too, doing my homework again. I'm learning. This is all new to me, but I know Milan moved out,
right?
And from my checking, and I may be dead wrong. People may be lying to me, but I've talked to a lot of people. Westview's not going to be what Westview's been in the last few years. They're coming back a little bit. Right. So what's the region looking like now? With them come back, I know Union City moved into that. I don't know much about their softball program, but I know. Yeah. Basketball, they're pretty solid. They moved into that district.
Right.
Then you've got Peabody, Ripley,
and Gibson County.
Yeah. So softball wise, how do you feel this year coming into that region?
It's really wild that a lot of schools, I mean, other than Westover, historically the last several years has just been good in every sport. I mean, like football, baseball, softball, basketball.
They've had an unbelievable
run. I mean, I can't. I mean, they're probably in the double digits in state championships inside that school.
Yeah.
In the last
10 years, probably.
Well, probably in the last 3 or 4 years.
The girls have won 3.
Well, I think the football's won 2 or 3.
Soccer won 1 the other. Even soccer won 1.
Softball's won 2, I think, in a row. Of course, they graduated their pitcher that ended up going to UT.
Right.
And but no, Westview is going to be down. Still going to be good.
That's kind of like their girls. Everybody's like their girls are down this year. Well, they were district champs, region runner-ups, going to sub-state on it, and that's a down year.
Exactly. Yep. So the region did change a little bit. This is the first year in this 4-year cycle.
Right.
So, so we brought in Union City. Milan went out. Gibson County's in there. Peabody, Ripley, Westview, of course. Ripley's got a great team. We played Gibson County last year, and they were scrappy.
See, Ripley's one. That's one of the ones where I don't have ties there. I don't know much about their.
Right.
I know a little bit about their basketball programs, but their baseball and softball, I'm kind of at a loss with them.
Yeah, Ripley's got a couple good pitchers over there that spin the ball well.
That makes a difference.
Yes, and they're not doing bad. Peabody. None of those teams are easy wins.
Right.
Back several years ago, we had an easier path to the state tournament. Whereas we could play some easier teams. But anyway, none of those over there in that other region are just guaranteed.
Everything's going to be tough.
Yes. And the thing about it is, we started out with 18 girls. I had a few, that walked away, unfortunately. We ended up with starting the season with 15. Well, we're actually starting with 13. We had 2 season-ending injuries happen during volleyball and basketball, and so both girls have had surgery in the last month.
Right. Of course, I know the Peterson.
Right, and then Jaden Henson.
Okay, I didn't.
And so Jaden and Lily have both had surgery, and they will be missed. Now they're still coming out and supporting us. They're
great teammates. Great kids.
Great teammates. And I told them both this past week. I said, I appreciate you being here because I know it's tough. Especially on crutches and seeing us do things that you can't do. And I've been through 3 ACL surgeries, so I understand it. It takes a toll on you mentally.
Right.
When you can't go and be normal. And but anyway, we're down to 13 ball players. And the last time I went to state tournament, this is funny. So we go to state tournament 2023. We walk in. And that year, I had 11 players on the roster. And everybody was like, "Did you leave your JV team at home?" I was like, "No.
This is it.
This is it. I've got 11, and they're scrappy, and we're going to put up a fight. And we should have won a couple games that year, but we booted the ball around at the wrong time, and it is what it is, and I think that if that team and all of us could go back, that the outcome would be different. But anyway, we that was that was kind of the funny part, so to speak, about that year. They're like, "You leave your JV team at home?"
Yeah.
No, this is it. We got 11, and we're gonna play ball.
Hey,
but we got 13 this year, a little bit more, and. The trick is staying healthy.
Yeah, there's so many challenges that I think a lot of people don't realize, especially when your numbers are down. I coached Frank Hughes for a while, and one of my seasons there, my first year, we had several seniors. When they graduated, get to practice, start the next one, I had 6 kids.
Right.
We finished games with 3 kids on the floor in basketball, and this is a pretty good story. We're playing down in Waterloo, Alabama, in a Christmas tournament.
Right.
I only had 5 that day. One of them was sick or injured. So we go down there with 5 kids. Had a kid foul out early in the game. Because couldn't sub him. Had to stay on the court. He picks up his field. He's gone. So we're playing with 4 kids. Well, he fouled out so early. The refs had forgot about him. He's sitting over there. get in the fourth quarter, I had another kid foul out, so I've got 3 kids out there. And the ref comes up to me and goes, Coach, why don't you put that kid in? I was like, well, if you'll let me, I will. You fouled him out in the second quarter. He's been gone for, they're like, oh, I didn't realize that was, it's like, this is all we've got. So, you know, you have them, there's a lot in high schools that you have to overcome. I know in softball, I don't know nearly as much about to speak about, but I know in basketball, a lot of coaches, people are like, well, we want to run this system or that. When you're at a small school, you don't pick the system.
Right.
The kids determine.
Yeah.
You don't get to go pick your players. This is the hand you're dealt, and you've got to figure out the system that works best for them. And I know baseball, there's baseball and softball has the same thing. It has styles of play.
Right.
You know, some people play, they call it small ball, and some are going to approach it differently. So I know it's the same in that. I just don't know quite as much about it.
Well, the for one, baseball and softball, it starts. We call softball starts in the circle, which means the pitcher, and you know, and this is no you know, gut punch to any other position player, but obviously, if you can't throw strikes, then you can't let them hit or strike them out, which means your defense can't make plays, which means you can't make outs, which means you're not going to win ball games, okay? So it starts in the circle. Pitching is huge. We have three pitchers this year. All 3 of them threw last night, did a great job, super proud of them. They overcome adversity a few times last night as pitchers and as a team, you know, but you have to put, especially at small schools, you have to put these kids in positions that the team is going to be successful in. So, you know, it's just like football at a small school. We have to, I mean, you know, you can bring in a coach, like you could bring in, you know, Nick Saban, and he might say, hey, you know, I want to throw the ball, like every play, I want to throw it. Well, obviously, he's used to having really good quarterbacks, and I'm not saying we don't, but really good receivers, and you know, just things like that. But this is the thing, just like me, I'm graduating 5 girls this year. I mean, I'm graduating 5 seniors off the softball team, and you know, there's probably going to be some moving around, and I hate to jump the gun because we haven't even started the season yet. But like, just looking forward, there's going to be some moving around. I mean, you will have to move. You'll have to move some people around due to the graduating part.
Yes,
but football wise, you know, you might want to pass the ball all the time, but if you have big linemen that can block, zone block, whatever, and then you've got, you know, a good running back, you might need to go to the ground attack.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you know, you're gonna have to base your. And that's every sport.
Yeah,
I mean,
every
single
sport.
Schools, yes,
You've got to coach to your what the hand you've been dealt. You've got to build around what you have. I would love when I coach basketball. If it was up to me, we'd play fast every game and we would press.
Yeah.
But sometimes we have no depth. It's hard to press.
Right.
Sometimes we're slow.
Yes.
It's hard to press. You know, sometimes it's just what you've been dealt.
Right.
You know, if you're at a big enough school or at a college where you can recruit your style, you can have a style.
Yes.
That's really hard to do at a small school.
It is.
But and you know, softball. I was joking. I'm getting my first taste of it.
Right.
My 2 older daughters, of course, you had them both in school at Scotts Hills. They come through. When I realized what had happened, we didn't tell them softball existed.
Right.
They were in a gym with me.
Yeah.
We did basketball.
Right.
We get to Scotts Hill. They play dodgeball for the first time.
Yeah.
And my girl, who's Jordan, runs up to the line with a ball and goes,
oh.
And I was like, my kids don't know how to throw. They didn't play T-ball, or so they never learned how to throw. She shot the dodgeball, and I was like, this may be a...
You should have got here and shot put.
Yeah. So,
should have started a track team.
My youngest, with the little boy, they have taken up softball. So she's in 8U softball. And here's the thing, I always joke, and I say this joke, don't get mad at me. I always say softball people are nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at an 8U
Sports
practice.
Sports
people, yeah. I was at an 8U softball practice at 9 o'clock last night. Still practicing, which Josie loved it. It was great. And then these people pouring into these kids, these leagues, man, it is awesome.
Yes,
They love on them. They're trying to teach them. It's good, but I just kind of laughed. I was like, man, it's Friday night at 9 o'clock, and I'm at an 8U softball practice. But but anyway, Coach, man, what else? What have we forgot? Anything? Just kind of glad to have you on here. You know, again, we just want to do what we can to try to promote our athletes. Obviously. I'm based in Henderson County, so I'm a Scotts Hill guy, so I am a homer.
Right.
I definitely, I've got a list kind of like we did with basketball. I've got a couple of kids from Scotts Hill that we want to do some stuff on. A couple from Lexington. Obviously, there's a young lady from McNary that I'm wanting to meet and sit down with and do a story on. And then same thing with baseball. I've got a handful. We've kind of got a story out on JoJo from Scotts Hill. We did a basketball / baseball piece on him back during basketball season. But just getting them out there.